This is a scene from Falling Down in 1993, directed by Joel Schumacher. We were speaking about it yesterday, so I thought we watch this scene.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'd like some breakfast.
We stopped serving breakfast.
I know you stopped serving breakfast, Rick. Sheila told me you stopped serving breakfast. Why am I calling you by your first names? I don't even know who you are. I still call my boss Mister. I worked for him for 7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden total strange, and I'm calling you Rick and Sheila like we're in some kind of AA meeting. I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Well, you can call me Miss Folsom if you want to.
Sheila, we stopped serving breakfast at 11:30.
It needs to be said that this isn't food. Firstly,
Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
That's not our policy. You have to order something from the lunch menu.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
Techno.
Let's get organized. Calm down. Just calm down, everybody. Just sit down. Sit down over there. Hey. Mister. Where are you going? No. You sit down there and you finish your lunch. Come on. Everybody just relax and take it easy. Come on. Why don't you eat your lunch, please? Eat your lunch. You all need your vitamins A's and B's and... No, it's an accident. It's an accident. The trigger, it's sensitive. It's okay. It's all right. It's a sensitive trigger.
There's no vitamins here, though. There's no
Rick, can I have my
vitamins.
breakfast,
Saying
please?
you'll need your vitamins.
Oh, yeah.
Not from a fast food joint.
I think I learned from Prison Break, the pilot, that it's like a federal crime to
Rick?
fire an automatic
Miss
weapon.
Folsom,
Yes, sir.
Yes?
you know what?
Sounds right.
You were right. I think I've changed my mind.
Because I think that's
Have some
how he
lunch,
gets into prison.
Could I have a double whammy
Just
burger
goes
with
and
cheese
fires. I think it's an automatic weapon.
Yes, sir.
and an order of whammy fries and, let me see, a chocolate wham shake.
Yes, sir. Sheila, get his order.
Rick, could you get it for me, please? I feel more comfortable now calling you Rick after all we've been through together. How you doing? Enjoying your meal? How about you, son? Is it good? And you, man? How's the food? Think you have a critic. How much you like the special sauce, Rick?
That's great.
It's a joke.
That was pure comedy. That was fantastic.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Turn around, look at that. You see what I mean? It's plump, it's juicy, it's 3 inches thick. Now, look at this sorry, miserable, squashed thing. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with this picture? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Great use of wide.
Yeah.
Well, just a middle-aged man's fantasy
Yes.
of like the world's, well, I guess it's everyone's fantasy in a way, is that these pathetic rules that hem you in, and you just go, well, why can't I get breakfast at, past
11:35.
11:35? What's the difference,
Yeah.
And they've got to, I guess, draw the line somewhere. But I thought it was going to show the bit where he shoots up the place. Doesn't he shoot it up? Or is that it?
I think that's it.
This was one of those ones that we talked about a lot in the playground, because it's 1993. So I think the person who explained it to me explained they did a better job. Well, they were like, he shoots up the place, but really he just shoots the ceiling for a bit. I thought he was going to go ooh and like, you know, really give it a go.
Shoot people.
Well, not shoot people, but like
Yeah.
shoot up the menu and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, up on the wall. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I kind of didn't remember anything past what's wrong with this picture
Right.
and him holding up the shit. Did you ever work in a fast food chain?
No, not a chain. I worked at a food hall, like at an Italian.
Can we say names? Can we name big global corporations on this?
Sure. Well, are you besmirching them, or
Yeah, a little bit.
just say you
I
worked
worked
at
at-
a big one?
No, I worked at McDowell's.
I worked at McDowell's. Okay.
From Coming to America, McDowell's.
Yeah.
The arcs, not the arches.
Yes,
Right. No sesame seeds on the bun.
that's right.
Right. Like they've, yeah. It was shitty. Yeah, but the only thing about, at least there was just separate shit for the breakfast menu.
Right.
And
You had to pack it away.
yeah,
So-
yeah, you started packing it away. I mean, when you looked at his clock, I think it was, instead of 11:30, I think it was like 11:33 or something.
Right.
So they're exaggerating everything. You know, if you did get a burger that squished, like that would have been a problem. And, you know, by 11:33 you haven't packed everything away. There's probably still a couple pre-made ones that didn't get sold. You could probably get away with it, but, you know, I get what you're saying.
I feel like we've moved beyond these problems, though. It's not just a middle-aged. I'm sure we've got similar problems, but something about, because this is pre-internet. This is pre. I mean, you really just need to say pre-internet, because then all the other horrible things that we're experiencing now have happened because of the internet.
Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that he's shooting up this place and doesn't have to deal with the other people who've got phones and are filming him and stuff like that's the difference. Like, there's a remake, a great heist film called The Taking of Pelham 123, and it's a 70s film, and then there's a remake, a Tony Scott remake done in the early noughts ish with John Travolta, and the difference is that all the people who are, you know, being held hostage, you know, obviously they've got phones, so that you've got to deal with that as a thing. So they would have already called the cops, they'd be live streaming, they'd be putting it on YouTube. Well, actually some of that happened, I think, that horrible siege we had here in Australia, the Lint Cafe siege. That guy was streaming directly to YouTube, I think.
Right.
Look that up. But so, you know, the issues we've got now are all tech related, or they're all related to the way we're crushed by technology, rather, because this is like a critique of corporate America.
Yeah.
You know, crushing you as the individual and setting an arbitrary time and saying you will eat here, and firstly, you'll want this garbage food. Second, that doesn't look the way it should. We're going to sell you a lie and screw you. You're going to have to buy it anyway. And then secondly, you're going to have it when we say you have it, and then not a minute after, and you'll come back tomorrow and be a good servant. Whereas now, you know, we're dealing with, you know, big tech, and I guess the food thing is still a big problem. Like we're feeling a lot of that now with, you know, the sort of the reevaluating of some of the food in America and whatnot. But yeah, I just feel like we've got different problems now, like different frustrations. Like
Yeah.
if I was going on about, you know, something that happened in a fast food restaurant, that would seem so quaint now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from from a bygone era almost. Like it's not quite, but it's, you know, like a hop, skip, and a jump away from setting a scene inside a blockbuster.
Yes.
We just kind of go, what is that?
Yeah,
What
and talking
was-
about late fees or
yeah,
something.
not rewinding the tape, and you go,
and you
what?
go, it's gone. We've solved this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so it's a whole other deal. Can you think of a modern problem that, you know, that you would want to solve in a falling down kind of way?
Nothing too modern.
Well, people taking their phones out at cinemas.
Actually, yeah, that's a huge one. But I used to always fantasize in traffic. So like a multitude of things, and one was people flicking their cigarette butts out the window.
Oh yeah, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad.
If you want to smoke, sure, don't make it everyone else's problem.
Yep.
But yeah, No, I had this. Well, yeah, like as you said, it's like a middle-aged man's fantasy because I used to kind of go around, especially when I was a lot younger and a bit more aggro or whatever. And yeah, I would kind of go, yeah, if I was in a situation where I had, no one dependent on me, I didn't have any family, nothing was at risk, I would go about dispensing justice. And then, years later, I had a conversation with my brother and he went, yeah, man, when I was a bit younger, and he said the exact same thing. And I'm like, really? I thought that was just my crazy brain. It's like, oh no, it's not much of a thing. They made a movie about it in the 90s, but
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, maybe self-checkouts. That's pretty annoying. But we're all settled into it now. Like, that's the thing. Like, you complain about these things, but there's nothing at the point where you go, oh, that's so... Like, I don't like the self-checkout. But then again, the good thing about it is you don't have to speak to anyone. And although, as we know, not speaking to anyone does have downstream effects because you sort of feel very disconnected and you start to think that the internet is real and that Twitter is real, which is not good. But at the same time, yeah, just that you can sort of just get your stuff and just pay for it and leave, which is one thing. I don't want to go in there and shoot up the place necessarily.
because of a self-checkout.
Because of a self-checkout. No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of stuff, I guess, I'd have to think about it. Things do get my goat, but yeah, I don't know. Put them in comments. Do you want to shoot up a place?
Why are you shooting up a place?
Yeah. Why?
Write it down so that the federal authorities can start tracking you immediately.
Yes.